Shalom, shalom, shalom. I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father, who the world calls God. Yahushua being the name of his beloved Son, who the world inwardly calls Jesus. It's the brother Yair Adada, WFI Indiana Camp, coming at y'all with a quick cloak through the spirit. Just going into what you want your book to be. All right, now, I'm not talking about you writing a novel and you trying to be the best-selling author in the New York Times and all this different stuff like that, but nah, the book about your life. All right, the same way how you go and you read the scriptures and you read about, you read about Job, you read about our foremother Esther, you read about Judith, you read about, David, you read about all of our kings, you read about, a multitude of different men, Paul, all throughout the scriptures. You read Abraham, you read about multiple men and women in the scriptures. With that being said, you got to understand that you have an angel right next to you recording everything that you do and bringing it up to the Most High God, right? There's an angel, whether you in the truth, out the truth, no matter what, you have an angel right next to you recording, writing everything down, writing every thought that comes in your mind, every word that proceeds out of your mouth, every action you do, whether it be good or whether it be evil. All these different things are being recorded, by these angels. All right. What do you want your book to be? When people, right, and I'm not saying that, Abarazazah, you make it to the kingdom and, you get to the kingdom, it's going to be the book of whatever your name is. And people going to be able to read it. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, what if it was, though? All right. I mean, it technically is, because you got, the angels recording all these different things, but they just taking it to the Father. But what if somebody was able to read your book, just like how many years now we're able to read about the accounts of our forefathers and foremothers? All right. You read these accounts and you, based off of what you read and based off of how the life of whatever said person was that you read about in the scriptures, you give your 2 cents. You say, oh, dang, man, that brother was wicked, man. Or that forefather was off. Or you say, man, that was a mighty forefather. He was honorable. All right. What if somebody got to read your book? Right? What if somebody got to read your book? What would they say about you so far? Or when it's all said and done, what would you want people to say about you? Moving forward, how would you want people, to read and perceive your book? All right. And that goes and ties into your name. Your name is basically your book. All right. Now, it's not going to detail every single thing that happens in your life, like how a book would, but your name holds weight. It carries weight. All right. And it's important. All right. So what do you want your book to be? Right. How do you want your name to be perceived? And that's important. Right. But real quick, let's go to the book of Job, chapter 19. Right. This is the book of Job, chapter 19 and verse 23. It says, oh, that my words were now written. Oh, that they were printed in a book. Right. So even Job through the spirit said, man, what if my words was written? Oh, now that my words were written and they were printed in a book, not understanding that it was. Right. He had the angel next to him recording all these different things that he's going through. All right. I'm going to just read the next verse. It says that they were graven with an iron pen and lead in the rock forever. And now, guess what? These many years later, guess what? We're able to read about Job. We're able to learn from Job. You understand? And the things that he went through in his life. All right, let's go to the book of, actually, real quick, I want to go to the book of Sirach first. Because you got to understand, the eyes of the Lord are in every place. What are the eyes of the Lord? The eyes of the Lord, right? That's just a code word for the angels. Because the Lord has angels, you understand, that literally record everything, like I've been saying over and over again. Real quick, before I get that in Sirach, let's go to the Ezekiel real quick. Just to get a visual, kind of. All right, let's go to Ezekiel chapter 9. All right. It's the book of Ezekiel chapter 9. Now I'll start at get right to the point. Start at verse 2. It says, and behold, 6 men came from the way of the higher gate, right? These 6 men is not actual men, it's talking about the angels. All right. It says, came from the higher gate, or so like it from the way of the higher gate, which lieth toward the north, and every man a slaughter weapon in his hand. And one man among them was clothed in linen, with a writer's inkhorn by his side, and they went in and stood beside the brazen altar. Now, you have these 6 angels. They got slaughter weapons in their hand, and guess what? You have one of them that have a writer's inkhorn. Basically is just an ancient pen, right? Now you have every angel is not there to put destruction on the earth, or to heal you, or to protect you. You got angels that have sectors basically, and they have specific jobs from the Most High God. All right, and this angel that we're reading about, right? You got the other 5 angels. Guess what? They was there for the destruction. All right, but with their weapons of destruction. But you had an angel whose job, you understand, with that writer's inkhorn, when you continue reading this, reading the chapter, and he had to go and set a mark upon those that sighed and cried, for the abominations of Jerusalem. All right, but his job was to record these different things, right? Set that mark upon them. So yes, you have angels who have writing utensils that, you understand, map these different things out. All right, let's go, which are just the eyes of the Lord. Let's go to that in Sirach, chapter 20, I believe that's 23, right? It's the book of Sirach, it's the book of Sirach, chapter 23 and verse 19. It says, such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth not that the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding the ways of men and considering the most secret parts. Right? Meaning what? The eyes of men, right? Or not the eyes of men, but the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter. Why? Because they're the angels. Right? They're the angels that go to and fro throughout the earth, right? Recording these different things, writing these different things down, your acts, what you thinking, what you doing, right? Where you falling at, what you overcoming, and they bringing these things back to the Most High God. All right, real quick, let's get one more in 2nd Chronicles. All right, this is the book of 2nd Chronicles, chapter 16 and verse 9. It says, for the eyes of the Lord run to and fro throughout the whole earth, to show himself strong in the behalf of them whose heart is perfect toward him. Right? And talking about what? Those eyes being what? The angels of the Lord. All right, so when you reading in the scriptures and reading about the eyes of the Lord, more often than not, it's talking about the angels. All right. Now, let's go to, real quick, let's go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 22. Right. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 22 and verse 1. It says, a good name is rather to be chosen than great riches. Now, is that, when it says a good name, rather to be chosen than riches, is that talking about your name? It's like, it means something mighty. Right? Mighty warrior. Right? Gabar Yal and all these other different. No, it's not talking about that type of good name. What is it talking about? It's talking about you having a good name. When your name come up, right, how do people react? How do people react when your name comes up? Right, when your name comes up around people, do they all go like this? Or they kind of look away? Or they really don't have nothing good to say about you? They kind of just say, oh, yeah, it's not really much said about you. Now, that could be a good thing, that could be a bad thing. Right, but point is, how do people react when your name gets brought up? All right, can people count on you? Do people know that you're sincere when your name comes up? All right, is anything wicked attached to your name in this truth? We're not talking about the world, because in the world, you know, you may have did what you did in the world, right? But hey, just like, you know, the Lord said, you come into this truth, you know, you're a new creature. All right, so we ain't talking about the world, but in this truth, you know, is wickedness attached to your name? You know, and when you got, or does your name have stains on it? And that's important, because if your name has a stain, it's hard to shake that different stuff. You know, you'll sometimes you'll be known as that, or that'll be kind of what you're known for, and God forbid you known for something wicked, man. Are you gonna be known for righteousness? You want, when your name comes up, you want people to be able to say, oh, that's a good brother, or yeah, that's a mighty brother, or you know, he very sincere. Whatever the case may be, you just don't want it to be anything wicked. Your name is important. That's what that good name is talking about. All right. It says a good name is rather to be chosen than great riches, and loving favor rather than silver and gold. Right. Real quick, let's go to the book of Malachi, just to get one more on the book. Chapter 3 and verse 16. Right, this is the book of Malachi, chapter 3 and verse 16. It says, then they that feared the Lord spake often one to another, and the Lord hearkened and heard it. And a book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared the Lord, and that thought upon his name. Right, so there's a book of remembrance. It's all type of different books in the third heaven. All right, that the Lord has access to, as well as the some angels in certain books, right? But that was just another precept going into how, you know, they writing these things down. You know, your actions, the things that you do, your name, all this different stuff. So what is your book going to be about? And that goes and ties in with your name. Let's go to the let's go to Sirach. Let's go back to Sirach. On Sirach 41. Sirach 41 and 41 and 12. All right, this is the book of Sirach, chapter 41 and verse 12. It says, yeah, I'll start at verse 12. Right, this is the book of Sirach, chapter 41 and verse 12. It says, have regard to thy name, for that shall continue with thee above 1,000 great treasures of gold. You see that? Right, it said have regard for your name. That's going to continue. That's going to continue with you. Your name is going to go further than riches that you have. All right, it's going to go further than that. All right, it says, here's the point that I want. It says, a good life hath but few days, but a good name endureth forever. Your name is going to last longer, you understand, than your riches that you had or have, or whatever the case may be. Guess what? The name, how you treated people, how people remember you, that's going to always, you know, that's going to always go on. You know, you may have someone that you know, that fell asleep, you know, before, right? That's you know, in the third heaven right now, and you know, when their name comes up, you think about the memories, you think about how they were, or you think about, you know, how they acted, their character, you know, were they good, how they treated you, etc., etc., how they made you feel. You think about all those different things. In like manner, that's how it is. You don't have to be gone in order for that for it to be like that either, though. But when your name comes up, people, guess what? They're gonna remember how you made them feel. They're gonna remember what your name is attached to. You don't want the name. I mean, like we read in Proverbs chapter 22, right? You want a good name. You don't want a name like let's go to that real quick. We're gonna go back to this because I want to finish that. But let's go to Genesis. 1 Samuel. Let's go to 1 Samuel. First Samuel chapter 25 and 3. Right, I'll start at 2. Right, it's the book of 1 Samuel chapter 25 and verse 2. It says, and there was a man in Maon whose possessions were in Carmel, and the man was very great, and had 3,000 sheep and 1,000 goats, and he was shearing his sheep in Carmel. Right, so this was a man that had a little stature, a little bit, as far as riches and gold, or not gold, but livestock and different things like that goes. You know, he was a pretty wealthy person. All right, it says verse 3, now the name of the man was Nabal, and the name of his wife Abigail, and she was a woman of good understanding and of beauty, and of a beautiful countenance. But the man was churlish, meaning childish, and evil in his doings, and he was of the house of Caleb. You see that? And when you keep reading on, right, his name Nabal, or when you go into the Hebrew, his name Nabal, right, it means foolish or fool. Right? So things can be attached to your name. All right, I think yeah, she even said that, hey, as for his name is, that, hey, that's how he is, paraphrasing. Right, so let's go back to, you don't want your name to be like that. You know, and I'm not saying literally you choose the name Nadab or Nabal, but your characteristics fit that, you know, of that manner. You know, your name might be a mighty name, but when your name comes up, that's what people think about. So they think about the folly, the madness, right, the wickedness that you done put forth while you in this truth, or a stain that you made, you're a stain that came upon your name for whatever reason. You want to protect your name as much as possible. All right, that's why it's important to stay far away from the appearance of evil. You know, that the ministry be not blamed, right? But back in Sirach chapter 41 and verse 13 again, it says, a good life have but few days, but a good name endure forever. My children, keep discipline in peace, for wisdom that is hid, right, and a treasure that is not seen, what profit are them both, right? So the point is, right, you want to protect your name. You want to have great regard for your name, and understanding how important it is for goodness to be with your name, for righteousness to be with your name, for honor to be with your name, kindness to be with your name, charity to be with your name. All you want multiple righteous attributes to be attached to your name, not a bunch of folly, vanity, vexation of spirit. Your name come up around brothers, and everybody say, yeah, that brother, man, he always arguing with brothers, or that brother be loud all the time. You feel me? Or that brother, yeah, that whatever. Right? Same thing for sisters, man. You want to always have regard, you understand, for your name, and understanding that, hey, look, how do you want your book to be? All right, how do you want your book to be written? When people read your book, are they gonna say, you know, X, Y, and Z? Yeah, there was a mighty brother. Or are they gonna say, man, that was a wicked brother? Same way how you read the scriptures and you read about these different kings, right? What if somebody read your book? All right, if they read your book, what would they say about you? All right, and try to go, you know, throughout this time until we while we're patiently waiting on our king to come back, right? Go throughout and try to live with that on your mind frame. If somebody read my book, all right, the book about your life, not written by you, right, but that's being written by the angels that's watching over you. If somebody read that book, would you be proud of it? Or would you kind of put your head down? Right? How would they perceive you? Would they give you high praise like people give to this day, many of our forefathers? Would they be able to learn from the righteous things that you did? Or would they kind of put dirt on your name? Or not dirt on your name, but they kind of say, yeah, man, that brother was wicked. Or you kind of read these accounts and now you being talked about, you know, you know, at a feast day or whatever the case may be, about, you know, men that went off in the scriptures, right? So somebody read your book, how would you be, man? Think about that, meditate on it, and live your life as such, because in reality, in actuality, right, these things that you do think, put forth upon the face of the earth, they all being recorded by the eyes of the Lord, which are the angels. Right, so Lord willing, brothers and sisters edified. Lord willing, brothers and sisters continue to endure. Right, that Kwam Yasha Allah, Shalom.